That my future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. Check this silly thing out, huh? It's like wearing a radar dish. You can hear your own voice really loud inside this thing. So I hope you got a good look at it, because I am taking it right off. Okay, I think we're live again. Man, it seems like the connection is unwrecked. Thank goodness. So, yeah, back to the Bitcoin head and shoulders. I called the Bitcoin top 9 months ago, and that top call has been in profit every single day except one. Everyone else told you that the price would go to 100,000 or a million at the end of 2021. And did that happen? No, it didn't happen. What happened was I was right again. So how right was I? Let's go and pat myself on the back a little bit here, because that's what we need. We need some more Richard Hart. You're gonna get a lot of back patting going on here today. So I called the top 9 months ago, and what if you had hopped into hex.com instead of sticking in Bitcoin? Well, let's see. Here's a chart. Bitcoin went down 55% on my call over 69 days. Called the top on the day. Then bounced back up, made a tiny little fake out, new high. It went up 6% higher. It went from 65 to 69, that's 6%. Everybody that longed that breakout, wrecked. Price went immediately down 41% over the next 58 days. And now it's lower, by the way. Like, anyway. So now that's Bitcoin, right? So what if instead, so I called the top on the day while everyone else was bullish out of their minds. I've done this more than one cycle. I did it last cycle too, 2017, 2018. I did it for Ethereum as well. I said last cycle, 27 days later, after Bitcoin hit its top, Ethereum hit its top. Exactly 27 days later, Vitalik sent $50 million to Coinbase, and the Ethereum Foundation, Consensus, dumped the Ethereum price on everybody, sold the top, right down 27 days later. Hilarious. So I'm just right, like, all the time, and I do it for free. There's no paid group. I suggest you don't trade. I suggest that you do things that are healthy for you, delay gratification, but I just give this to you for free, along with my free coins. World's largest airdrop coming out soon. Testnet's up now. It's been up for months. And yeah, so what if you got hex.com instead? Let's click the next button. I tweeted this. From the day of the Bitcoin top, if you got hex, it went up 32x, 33x actually, in 158 days. So if you had bought hex the day that I told you the Bitcoin top was in 9 months ago, you would have been up 33x your money. Then there was a dip, and now you'd only be up your money 13x instead of being down 41% with Bitcoin. I mean, come on. Like, doesn't get any better than that, right? I cannot do you a better solid than that. And actually, you'd be higher than 13x now. Because back when I made this chart, the hex price was 22 cents. And currently it is... currently it is 24.5 cents. So you're up like another 2 or 3x on the 13. So you're up like to 14 or 15x probably, my guess. So what else do we got going on? Guess how much money has been sacrificed at PulseX.info to support freedom of movement and freedom of assembly? Take a guess. I'll let you pause for a moment while I look it up. I'm going to PulseX.com. Oh, you're not going to believe this number. You're not going to believe this number. And you can go and inspect every single sacrifice and see that this is normal users. I've never seen any, like, I haven't heard of anyone using Tornado Cash. I haven't heard of anyone using mixers. This is a straight up normal retail sacrifice. $776 million. That's a lot of money. Apparently, freedom of assembly, freedom of movement is very important to people. Now, it's nice that these guys that have supported this political statement will receive a free airdrop of PulseX, which is the premier largest liquidity automated market maker Uniswap fork on the PulseChain network when it goes live. And I get so many questions from people with bad English. I sacrificed BUSD on Binance Smart Chain. Is that okay? Yes, it's okay. Can I sacrifice BNB on? Yes, yes, you can. Can I use Trust Wallet? Yes, yes, you can. This is all like written on the. Oh, I don't see my sacrifice on PulseXLead.com, where it tracks the leaderboard. And by the way, there was a big mix-up or a big jump in the leaderboard yesterday. Someone came, took $30 million of USDC, swapped it into Hex, and then sacrificed it. Pumped the Hex price, and also jumped into the #1 spot on the leaderboard, which I'm going to go look at now, actually. This is coming off. It's a little hot. I try and remember like what you guys have seen on stream before and just wear stuff you haven't seen. So I try and do anyway. Ugh. All right. So now this notice every time you go to PulseXLead.com says this only tracks the Ethereum network. This does not track the $10 million that's coming on Bitcoin. This does not track the $14 million that's coming on the Binance Smart Chain network. This does not track the $1.5 million that's come on Cardano. It does not track the, who knows, like $1 million on Litecoin, $1 million on Monero. I don't know, maybe like 600-700K on Bitcoin Cash, right? So, guys, when you go to PulseXLead.com, it's a volunteer-made website. If you like it, donate to the guy. And you should donate to the guy. It's a nice-looking website. It's very, very, very cool for people to see what rank they're at. And so if you didn't sacrifice on the Ethereum network, which the vast majority of people did, let me tell you how much better Ethereum is than the rest of cryptocurrency. Let's say that you were a retailer and you wanted adoption. And you wanted people to use their coins for whatever it is that you're doing. Let's say you wanted people to support a political statement. More people have supported political statements from ERC-20s on the Ethereum network than from Layer 1 coins. There's more sacrifices from SHIB and Chainlink, which are ERC-20s, than there are from Litecoin and Monero. ERC-20s are awesome. Hex is an ERC-20. ERC-20s are so good. Aren't you glad, aren't you happy that you're going to get a copy of all of your ERC-20s on the PulseChain network? And you can go play with those copies right now on the testnet. If you Google PulseChain testnet, you're going to see a picture of what to put in your MetaMask. Actually, we should set up a website that you just click a button and it automatically does it for you, because that's a feature that we could build like really easy. I'll mention that to Dev. So yeah, let's refresh it. So last time, this is awesome to do this. If you go to PulseXLead.com, and so the last time we looked up, it was 776,819,000. Let's take a look now. Doing a little refresh action. My connection sucks. So either you guys have just hugged that server off of the internet, or my internet's so bad that it's just not loading. Yeah, it ain't loading. I think, oh, now it's 776. Did it refresh? It's 776,819. I think it's already been that before. All right, let's see if we can remember this number. I thought it would be neat to just show you, like, look how much it goes up while we're sitting on stream. Oh, by the way, if you're going to sacrifice, you probably should do it within the next hour, because you get 5% less credit in an hour and 16 minutes. Now it's 779,642. Used to be 776. Now it's 779. So while we were talking, another $3 million was sacrificed. Can't beat it. You can't beat it. So let's look at these totals here. 167 million, these are the coins that have been sacrificed just on the Ethereum network. 167 million of Ethereum, 80 million of USDC, 31 million of Tether, 5 million of DAI, 3.2 million of wrapped Bitcoin, 483 million of Hex, 2 million of SHIB, 2 million of Chainlink, about 1 million of Uniswap. How awesome is that? How super, super cool is that? The PulseX sacrifice has been more successful than the PulseChain sacrifice. Interesting. Now, what's interesting as well is that for people that feel like they missed PulseChain, they believe in it so much. Now they see testnets working. They've used it. They can play with the RC20s. They can swap them on Uniswap on testnet. The vibe is lively. People are like, yeah, man, like, let's do it. Let's do it. You know, when PulseChain launches, PulseX launches with it, and someone is very likely to set up a pair between PulseX and Pulse. So Pulse is like Ethereum, and PulseX is like Uniswap. So there'll be a pair where you can trade in the free market one for the other, and this will be before the most popular bridges open. So, you know, the bridge that I say this is the awesome one, right? Because I know who built it. The bridge that allows people to take value from the Ethereum network, bridge it into the PulseChain network, and then pair it with their free PRC-20s to do yield farming. So let's say you have Chainlink, right? $2 million of Chainlink has been sacrificed here. You bridge in your e-Chainlink from the Ethereum network onto the Pulse network. You pair it with your free copy of all your link, which is already on Pulse waiting for you. And then you make money as people trade that pair. And then you also receive an extra yield token, an incentive reward token for being a liquidity provider. And then the value of all of the free PRC-20s that people got, their ERC-20 copies, is backed by the value of the ERC-20s. And then, because of Hart's law, which states, I invented it, when two things trade versus each other, their values against the dollar both move up and down together because they're bonded by the liquidity in the trading pair. So if there's an E-link from the Ethereum network and there's a link on the Pulse network, and one of them goes up, their value versus the dollar both goes up. If one of them goes down, their value versus the dollar both goes down because they're interchangeable for each other. They're bonded by their liquidity. And so there will be two primary ways. Well, I think in the beginning there'll be one primary way. You're going to get real world USD dollar value in and out of the PulseChain network, and it's going to be bridging to other stuff, probably primarily Ethereum. Then one day you'll have fiat on-ramps from other places like direct listings. So before the bridge is open, because you want to lock in that airdrop at a $0 cost basis by making sure that it's valueless when people receive it. You want it to be worth nothing when people receive it. Then it can get valuable later, just like Satoshi. Satoshi launched Bitcoin. Doesn't owe any tax on it, right? You know, keeps getting capital gains. It's not taxed on his unrealized capital gains. So you'll be able to trade PLSX, which people are doing the sacrifice phase now, for PLS at whatever the market rate is. The market's going to decide that before the bridge is open. And you might be able to get a better deal before the bridge is open. Because once the bridge is open, I think you're going to see buy pressure, you know, and you're going to see a USD dollar value as well. So it's very interesting. It's an interesting play that you can get PLS through PLSX by trading it before the bridge is open. You could trade it after the bridge is open, but I think that you'd have more demand then. Yeah. Somebody says smash that like button. Yes, please. Please do smash the like button. Let's refresh it again. Probably hugging the server to death. So it was 779,642,000. Let's see where we're at now. 779,642. Type that. 779,642. Then when it finally loads, I'll tell you. I think the server is just getting hugged to death, or my internet sucks. But I mean, my live stream's not dropping packets anymore, so maybe it sucks less now. I think this is on his server's end. So what else? We got Bitcoin top, called it like a boss on the day. Can't do better. Ethereum top, called it. What else? Hex went up 33x from the minute of the top call. Oh, I love it. So good. And by the way, guys, I don't think you understand how bullish Hex is, by the way. If you wanted to remove hundreds of millions of dollars of Hex supply off the market, what are your options to do that? What if you had hundreds of millions of dollars and you wanted to just buy up hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Hex? It's very hard to do because the price moves up. So if you try and deploy $100 million to acquire Hex, you're going to push that price so high. But we look here, and these sacrifice addresses have never sold Hex. So the PulseChain sacrifice got hundreds of millions, if not more, of Hex. And the PulseX sacrifice has gotten so far $483 million worth of Hex. I am unaware of any other way that you could see so much Hex come off the market. Like, I don't, like, if you had $400 million and you tried to buy up Hex, you wouldn't have got $400 million worth of Hex because you would have pushed the price against yourself. You would have got far less Hex. So I think that this is extremely bullish for Hex. These addresses don't appear to like selling. They sell everything for stables, apparently, except Hex. That's what my chain analysis shows. So if that behavior continues, that seems very bullish for Hex. Yeah, I mean, people always ask me, they're like, what's going to pump harder, PulseX or Pulse or Hex? I don't know. I don't know. These are all very, very well designed tokenomics. You know, I think it's very interesting that the PulseChain chat room has a ton more people than the Hex chat room. It's been around 10 times less long. I mean, let's look at these numbers real quick. PulseChain. Oops. PulseX. 35,000 people in chat, 108 people on video chat right now as we speak. And then PulseChain, 61,000 people in chat, 10 people in video chat. And then Hex Crypto, 37,000 people in chat, no voice chat at all. I don't know why people understand PulseChain and PulseX so much better, but they do. They really understand cheaper, faster, world's largest airdrop Ethereum, and no burning the environment, and deflation only, and coin burning only. They understand all that instantly. For some reason, when you try and explain Hex to them, they don't get it. You're like, it's Bitcoin with proof of work change. We do proof of weight instead of proof of destroy the environment. They defend the price instead of the hash rate. They just don't get it. It's crazy to me. But it is what it is. So, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty happy. Even so, I don't promote the PulseChain Twitter at all. I don't think it's even made more than like 1 or 2 posts, but it has more followers than the Hex Crypto Twitter. Crazy to me. So, I mean, I guess that's the reason that we see these numbers that we do. I deleted the calculator already. Darn it. So it's like 780 million. 779,642. I bet if I refresh it, it's over 780. 779. Oh, God darn it. I should have typed it. Let's take a look at chat here. So what do we, oh, by the way, Maddie Allen has been having a Hex conference that's about 5 hours long every day for the last 3 days. And this is the last day, the 4th day. Bunch of good talks in there. If you like Hex and you like Pulse and you like PulseX, you really should watch and at least rewind back to the parts that you may enjoy the most, that conference, because there's a lot of cool stuff in there. You know, you got people giving sincere gratitude, you know, like coming near to tears or making other people come near to tears with, you know, the heartfelt thanks and wonderful things that have happened to them with Hex, you know, the community that they're in now, and kind words from me. Thank you so much. But also technical analysis. I never do technical analysis on Hex. You don't hear me talking about 200-day moving averages and trend lines. You don't hear me doing any of that. But there's a community of people that do that in Hex. You know, t.me/Hex trading has maybe 8,000 people in it. And, you know, these guys that are on the live stream yesterday had some really cool technical analysis going on there. Yeah, it's 784,442,000 currently. I wouldn't be surprised if this shot up like right before the day ticked over in an hour and 5 minutes. But who knows, right? Somebody says, can the SAC volume on February 28th be understood as the starting market cap of PulseX? No, because PulseX will launch with zero value. And so it will start with no market cap, just like Bitcoin did. We'll start at nothing, and then, my guess, it may become worth a lot more than nothing. And I think I think one way you could look at this is, what's the it's the ratio of how many people know about a thing now to how many people will know about the thing in the future. That's what matters, in my opinion, as far as speculation is concerned. And I don't think that there's any way that you can get the coin more affordably than zero. So you're making a political statement. You're being recognized for it. You're getting something for free for it. Your cost basis is zero. You got it for zero. So these trying to estimate market caps, I don't think is actually a good way to do speculation. Because, I mean, that type of speculation, that kind of like measuring tends to make you sell everything too early because you don't realize how high market caps can go because it's a fake made up number that you can't trade. You can't put bids on the market cap chart. You can't put asks on the market cap chart. The market cap will never fill your orders. The market cap has nothing to do with volume. It has nothing to do with order book depth. It's trash as far as... It's trash. It's a bad, stupid metric that it's unfortunate that it's what everyone kind of uses. Yeah, so I don't think it's that... I really don't think it's that useful to do that measurement. I think a more useful one is be like, you know, if prices move, so if you 1,000x the audience, I think the price would move a lot more than 1,000x. Like particularly because these seem to be primarily traded on automated market makers that move as a function of a square. So if you double the bid side of a Uniswap V2 pair, you 4x the price. If you triple the bid side, you 9x the price. If you quadruple the bid side, you 16x the price. So, and that price multiplication has existed not just in automated market maker pricing systems, but also, I don't know why I keep tilting my head to this. I need to stop doing that. I keep doing this. You guys can hear me perfectly without me tilting my head. It's so dumb. I still want to do it. I want to face that mic so bad. I want to speak directly into the mic. Hello, this is Richard Hart's ASMR show. Yeah. So I think that you get that same pricing multiplication even with normal CLOB central limit order book systems. And so if you can 1,000x your participants, 1,000x your audience, I think you get much, much more than 1,000x price movement. You get maybe 100,000x or 10,000x, some larger number of x's, my opinion. So I just think the ratio of how many people know about a thing to how many people will know about it is a really useful metric in predicting potential of speculative investments or speculative anythings. Because this is weird. This isn't an investment. You're sacrificing your money to make a political statement, and then you're getting something for free. That's not a sale. It's not a purchase. It's not an investment. You're just getting something for free. Congrats. Checking out chat here. Oh, chat's funny. What factors go into... Oh, I think I've missed a little bit of chat here. Let me look at my camera. I think that hat flattened my hair a little bit. Silly hat. Can you see my Louis Vuitton shirt? It's got a giant pocket. I don't know why the pocket's so big. Fashion, I guess. Did you see the hex dial Rolex I sent you? No. Send it again. Somebody says the last hour of sacrificing is going to be fire. Hey guys, spread the word. Go spread this stream. Go send people to pulsex.com and pulsex.info. It's awesome, you know? Like, think about this. 2022 could be the year where the top performing coins are Pulse, PulseX, Hex, and Hex on the Ethereum network. So 2 hexes a Pulse and a PulseX. It could really be the case. I'm going to be showing off. I'm not just going to be bragging about hex charts, right? It's going to be great. Oh, by the way, we're over 100,000 subs on this channel. And I'm putting on 650 a day on Twitter and 350 a day on YouTube subscribers and followers. So it's like 1,000 a day. But there might be crossover. Like some of those might be the same person on two platforms. But let's just call 1,000 a day to ease of measurement. Shout out to Tony Tone in the chat. He wanted me to say Tone Look, but I mixed it up. Why would someone trade PulseX to Pulse if we still don't know which one will perform better? Well, maybe people want both. I mean, you can get PulseX now through being recognized for having made that political statement, but you really don't want to sacrifice at pulse.info without the X, because you're going to get almost nothing for it. I mean, you should get absolutely nothing for it, but if you're shown mercy, you'll get almost nothing. So pulsex.info and pulsex.com are a way better thing to do currently. Yeah, I mean, this question seems dumb. It's like if you could buy a shirt that you wanted that's out of stock and not available anymore, but you find a way to get it, you'd be very happy, right? So, stupid question. The number of people with broken English is killing me from a customer support perspective. Not that I have any customers, but from a like answer dumb questions on the internet perspective, I guess. This guy asks, for Impulse X, there ain't no impulse. If you go to something with an M or an N in the front, you're getting scammed. I have nothing to do with it. So I have to remove this guy's question because of a misspelling. Y'all need to learn English for real. I know you're from other places and all that, but English is the language of science. English is the language of the global reserve currency. English is the language of every new professionally produced paper in medicine and blah, blah, blah. If you want to get rich and powerful in this world, man, you better speak English. It's going to be a lot easier for you. And my Lord, the number of dumb questions I get from you guys, it's crazy. You know, you go to, and I can't help you if you don't speak English, man. Like, use Google Translate or something, please. Because you hurt me, right? You guys get scammed. You are the guys that give your keys to every scammer that asks for them. You guys that can't speak English well, it seems like anybody that direct messages you, you can't wait to give them your private keys and your seed word so they steal all your money. I don't know what I can do to help you guys. I don't know what else I can do to help you guys. And it's like driving me crazy. I want to help you guys, but I can't because your English sucks. Yeah, I don't know what else I can do to help. But every time one of you dudes in broken English is like, me get scammed, me give keys to someone, I'm like, well, dude, I can't help any more than I am. I mean, I've already got beware imposters in like all of my social media profiles, all of my like everything. What factors go into price discovery after launch? Demand and supply. I don't know. Like what else affects price, man? I guess the bridges. I think that helps. 4,600 viewers, really? Let's go look at that. So let's take a quick review of all the awesome stuff that's going on here. We've got PulseX.com, near $800 million of sacrifice so far. Verifiable, every single one on chain. And all of the sacrifices on the Ethereum network from the Pulse sacrifice, which was also very successful. That's all just sitting in that address. You can go look at that too. So you can pull up both of these addresses and you can see them on different chains. You can look up, for instance, this PulseX.info sacrifice address. You can look that up on BSC Scan, on Matic Scan or whatever their thing's called. On Avalanche's one, it's called like Snowflake or something. It's a terrible name. Snow Trace, I think. Less terrible, I guess. You know, you can look up that same address and see all the balances, what's come in, and you know where it came from, and all that stuff. It's all public as can be. If PulseChain is an ETH fork, can dApps and other platforms be built on top of PulseChain? We've got tons of things that are building on top of PulseChain. There's whole launch pads that are just building projects to launch in PulseChain. So I purposely don't talk about any of them. If you want to build things and be successful on PulseChain, you need to be successful on your own, because I am not shilling your bags for you. There's ticker symbols I'm a big fan of. For instance, HEX. PLS, PLSX. I like those ticker symbols a lot. If you're building something on Pulse, go get an audience that ain't mine, homies. Because if you're trying to get people to buy other ticker symbols, what am I going to shill your like potential rug pull project? This stuff is really hard to build. I promote things that I know are built well and nothing else. We've seen this in the Hex community before. You know, people will target Hexicans with a coin, and then that coin will rob the living oblivion out of them. And after we saw that once or twice, we're like, nope, you're not going to get a kind word out of me about your project. Very, very unlikely, right? There's ticker symbols I like. You know what they are. For you guys that got other ticker symbols that are on the PulseChain network, enjoy the world's largest airdrop. Enjoy the fast technology. Enjoy, you know, the wonderful network with higher throughput and lower fees. Enjoy all those things. But don't expect me to not delete your comments in chat. If I see another ticker symbol that's getting deleted, I don't care what it is, right? We mentioned Bitcoin and Ethereum because look at all the sacrifice, look at all of the new users that are onboarding. But for some small project, they're just going to leech your audience. They're not bringing usually stuff on their own. And if you are bringing stuff on your own, good. That's how these things grow, right? So, you know, there's already successful coins out there, and we want their audience to come into our community. So you guys that are building on Pulse, I wish you the best. I hope that you get audits. I hope that you don't rug pull. But I imagine when PulseChain launches, man, it's going to be a rug fest. I think every new network that launches, all the scumbags out there are like, oh, they're going to go get in it, right? And I think you're going to have a ton of trash on PulseChain, just the same way you had a ton of trash on Ethereum when it launched, and you had a ton of trash on Bitcoin when it launched. Not a ton, but a little bit, you know, like gambling games and whatnot. Like, I don't even support gambling. I don't like gambling, but I guarantee you're going to see a lot of gambling stuff. Do we know the exact block the fork happened so we can prepare ERC-20s? No, you're not going to know either, because I don't want you to be able to prepare crap. I don't want you to be a liquidity provider and try and pull your liquidity so that the harvester bot doesn't harvest you. So you're not going to get an exact block height. You might get a range, but you're not going to get an exact block height. That way the liquidity harvester bot can taste your juicy PRC-20s at launch. See, the PLSX price fixer bot that repairs the market caps. So because PulseChain has a million times more supply on the automated V2 pairs, it has to pump 1,000 times more on one side to take 1,000 out of the other side to 1 million x the price. And then on V3, the math's different because it's not symmetrical, but you get the idea. So it seems like it's going to have to mint like the square root of 6.5, which is like 2.25. It seems like it's going to have to mint 2.25% supply to empty out all the PRC-20s of all the other like SushiSwap and Uniswap AMMs, and then put it into PulseX in new pairs. It's really cool because then you have centralized liquidity, so our bots aren't getting rich equalizing prices against different liquidity sources. And then guys that, you know, might have wanted to have pulled liquidity, the liquidity is not theirs anymore. So, oh, it's so smart. You know, you're going to have a derivative value play due to Hart's law on all the bridged in ERC-20s that have been paired with their PRC-20s, which are the free ones. And people are going to be yield farming it. And I think it's going to be amazing. Like, I think it'll be the most successful yield farming project in history, Because whenever you ever got the other, you're airdropping everybody on Ethereum is getting an airdrop. You're not just airdropping people that spent more than $1,500 on gas. You're not just airdropping people that used a particular platform. You know, Uni token was given just to people that used Uni. 1inch was given to people that just used 1inch. VTorn or Torn or whatever it's called was given just to people that used Tornado Cash. On down the list, right? Well, we're airdropping everybody. Everyone. Can't beat that. You can't beat that. So good. So good. God bless you, Richard Hart. Thanks, man. When you can have an LV partnership, well, I don't know, man. They send me cakes and pay for my hotel and stuff. So I think that they're winning on that deal, though. I think they're making a lot more money on me than I am on them. Natalie says, I do anti-aging research, so that's how I heard of you, but just sacrifice for PulseX, so thanks. What do you personally think the biggest breakthrough in anti-aging will be? I mean, currently the stuff that's closest is Senolytics that clears the junk out of your cells. That's the closest. Other than that, you've got like small molecule and NMN stuff, which kind of activates SIRT1 pathway, which simulates caloric restriction in mammals, which enhances immune function and some other things. Repair. Like, it focuses on repair instead of growth. Yeah, and then for like stacks for like longevity and anti-aging now, you've got metformin. They all seem to be things that kind of affect calories. Kind of is what it seems like. If you want to talk about longevity tech, go to t.me/scivive, SCIVIVE. My free books are there, and it's also a great spot to talk about surviving through science. Scivive. Can you give us a specific example of a small retail investor that's not a Pulsecan to come to the PLS network to avoid fees on ETH? Wouldn't they pay a lot in fees to bridge in and out? Yeah, until there are direct listings, you would pay a lot in fees to get in and out. But once you're in, you can stay in and do whatever you want. So it's like, you know, don't you pay a lot to get into the internet per month? Yeah, but like once you're in there, you can do a whole lot of stuff. So yeah, you pay a monthly fee to get into the internet, but once you're in there, you can do a lot of really cool stuff. So we know that this formula is very successful because we have other things that have done this, right? Like there are other successful L1s where like you see them sacrificing. So there's been $14 million of sacrifice energy from the Binance Smart Chain network, which is a fork of Ethereum. There's been, you know, $2 million or $2 million on the AVAX network, fork of Ethereum. There's been, you know, 200,000 on Ethereum Classic, fork of Ethereum. But maybe more, like 250K. There's been, you know, there's a lot of successful, not that Ethereum Classic is one of them, but there's a lot of successful forks of Ethereum that we just know this stuff works. We're just doing it better, right? Matic is another example. These are all Ethereum forks. So like, will this work? You're like, yeah, we know it works. We've seen it work time and time again. We're just doing it better. Please explain again what people have to do after the airdrop. You don't have to do anything. Your keys just work. You can go to a site, click a button, it'll pop open your MetaMask and say, do you want to switch to the PulseChain network? You click yes, and that's it. That's all you got to do. All your keys will be there. And so will your coins. You know, your PulseX will be there, your Pulse will be there if you have them. Your ERC20 copied PRC-20s will be there. Even Pulse itself will be there if you had Ethereum, but you'll just get a, you know, tiny little bit. You're getting diluted by a million X. I mean, it's 1-to-1 ratio, but there's a million times more other coins given to sacrificers in the Pulse network. Do only the wallets that sacrifice get PRC-20 copies? No, everybody does. Absolutely everybody. I mean, maybe there'll be like some ultra scammers that don't get their copies because we handpick them to be like scam and remove them. But the vast, vast, vast majority of people will get all their stuff. What's your educated guess for total supply of PulseX? I don't really have one. I mean, total sacrifice times 10,000. You gotta wait till the sacrifice phase is over. What symbol will be used for bridged EHEX on PulseChain? It's just EHEX. That's all. We're just going to call it EHEX. So bridged in stuff from Ethereum, so they can get the E prefix. So like bridged in ETH will be EETH. ETH. By the way, Ethereum is a terrible brand name, just so you know. How many times have people misspelled Ethereum? Tons. Everybody misspells it constantly. Can you please give insight on why the SAC address has been swapping Ethereum for DAI? Very curious. No, I can't. Maybe if one day you find out what might have those keys, you can ask it or them. It seems like in a bear market, stablecoins are cool. Who knows? Where will the sacrifice money go? Will it go to Sens? Where will the PulseX sacrifices go? Hey, brother, do you know what sacrifice means? It means it ain't yours anymore. So don't worry about it. You will have no expectation of profit from the work of others. So this question sounds like, can I please have expectations? No, you can't have expectations. Sorry. By the way, these same stupid questions we received during the Hex launch phase as well. It was a meme. Like, where does the ETH go? Price went up 10,000x, by the way, before staking in 623 days. So any of these old school, like rehashed, like copy paste, we've already dealt with this for several years now. It's just boring to me. The where does the ETH go questions are just like noob. Is the sacrifice value calculated with an average of the price by the hour? We're trying to use a 30-minute TWAP where convenient. So it's near the time of sacrifice. Wouldn't successful dApps be positive catalysts for the blockchains, including PulseChain? Yes, rug pulls would happen, but the great ones would overshadow all the rug pulls. Yeah, true. I don't disagree with any of that. But that's the other thing. Like, once we got your code, and we got your ticker symbols, and we got the prices to move with each other due to bonding, due to Hart's Law, we don't really care about your project. So if you want, like Chain Link, if you want to point your little servers that you run and to go poop price feeds on PulseChain so people can use them or whatever, go ahead. If you don't, that's fine. We got your ticker symbol, and we got your users bridging in their ERC-20s to get yield farming rewards. So if you want to enjoy the user base and the lower fees and the higher throughput, go ahead. Oh, and by the way, all the free money. If you don't, that's fine too. I don't care. Like, we got the things people care about. They don't really care about all that other stuff. They care about the ticker symbol and the price. That's what most people care about. Most people are not in it for the tech. So you want to come and build on this awesome thing, go ahead. If you don't, that's fine too. We got what we need from you. What's the total sacrifice, including all the chains? I listed off some of them earlier. There's like 14 million on BSC, 10 million on Bitcoin. I mean, unless you count like the wrap Bitcoin, maybe it's 12 million. I did this already earlier in the show, man. Got to rewind it. The vast majority is Ethereum network stuff. I mean, we're looking at coming up on $1 billion of sacrifice here, and you know, all those other chains added up is like not even 10%. So the Ethereum chain is where it's at, which is convenient because when you go to pulsexlead.com, you can pretty much see what the state of the leaderboard is, you know, because the other chains are so small in comparison. They're so small, you almost think about discontinuing them to make it easier for users. Like, would there have been more Ethereum chain sacrifices if it was just easier to understand because you just removed all the clutter of all these other chains? Maybe. Or just having all those other chains show that you're competent and can do cool stuff. So I'm leaning towards the confidence being cool, but like the difference between Sacrifices and Ethereum network and these other networks is so large that you're just like, is it worth it to even have these other things, you know? How would this work if Sacrifice was in the Staker app? Yeah, it works. It's fine. As long as you have your private keys, you're fine. What's the difference between Uniswap V1, V2, V3? I like this question. See, this guy whose name is absolutely impossible to pronounce actually asked a good question. Usually you guys with impossible to pronounce names, I can't understand your questions. But Mr. PulseX, that's literally what his name is spelled as. Uniswap V1 required everything to be paired with Ethereum, and it did not support ERC20 to ERC20 direct pairs. And so to go from one thing to another thing, you ended up having to go through two routes, so your actual fees were 0.6%. So if you were swapping from one thing to another thing that wasn't Ethereum, it was a 0.6% fee because you had to go through two pairs. Now with Uniswap V2, you could have direct ERC20, ERC20 pairs. So for instance, the majority of liquidity in Hex is USDC. USDC is in ERC20, Hex is in ERC20, and so you could pay a 0.3% fee there. It's half the fee that you would have paid on Uniswap V1. Uniswap V1 was more gas efficient though. So if you were swapping just as Ethereum, you could do it with less gas. Now Uniswap V3 introduced something where liquidity providers could add liquidity asymmetrically. So you could just add to the bid side, just add to the ask side. You didn't have to put equal bid and ask. That's the claim to fame for Uniswap V3. That's about it. Now I could tell you that they added some admin keys and duct taped on a token, but it's not really that relevant. The admin keys can just turn on a switch that turns on a tax that taxes 15%. So, but they've never turned on the switch. That only applies to Uniswap V2 and V3. Oh, some of these questions, dude. Is there a cutoff date to have coins in your wallet in order to get the airdrop? Yeah, when mainnet is going to launch near, that time, which is, it's always a month and a half to 2 months away, even though we keep making progress. Like we keep getting things done, but it's close, man. Like it's close. People are so silly. Richard, with over 700 million sacrificed, does a circulating supply for both PulseX and Pulse not concern you? Uh-oh, there's that concern word. Concern trolling. Yeah. What's the supply of Hex? 680 billion? Seems to be fine. It's okay. You know that these coins just, they don't inflate. They just deflate. They cannot mint any new coins. So for both Pulse and PulseX, there's no inflation. The supply only goes down. It's nice to start with a high supply when it can only go down. Somebody says he misspells Ethereum at least 69% of the time. True that. These usernames, bro. By the way, all of these questions of what will this do and what will that do, things like that, you will have no expectations of profit from the work of others. I don't like expectations. So any of this, some of these questions in chat, these are expectation questions. You're not going to get answered. They're going to get ignored. What will happen to those free copies on PulseChain if nothing will be done to those coins? Will it stay there forever or eventually get diluted? They stay there forever. We're not doing the take back. It's too hard and takes too long. Please explain the bonuses in PulseX. Yeah, there's a volume bonus. So the larger you sacrifice, picture there's an up to 2.5x volume bonus. So how do you distribute that bonus? I believe that similar to the real world, the people that do the most volume get the best deal. So if you buy the most cars, you get the best deal from the manufacturer. If you buy the most TVs, you get the best deal from the manufacturer. If you sacrifice the most for a political statement, I think you should be rewarded more, just like the real world. So you've got a maximum 2.5x multiplier bonus, and then you've got a minimum 1x, which is basically nothing. And then if you allocate it primarily to those that sacrifice the most, how would you do that? And I invented this, and I think it's a really cool invention. You pretend that there's an auditorium, and that you, when you sacrifice, each one of your points turns into a person, and they wear your shirt, the color of your team. So let's say the first guy's green. First guy sacrifices $1 million equivalent, and then he gets 1 million guys, and they march into the front of the auditorium. Now, it's kind of too many guys for this example, so let's just call it 100 guys. So he sacrifices $100. There's 100 guys. They march to the front of the auditorium. And then, some guy sacrifices 50. His 50 guys wear his shirt. They march in behind and line up behind those guys. And so they've got a worse seat. They're farther from the stage. And now, well, let's introduce one more guy. So now a guy comes with 200, sacrifices 200. His team puts on his shirts, walks up to the front where the team that only had 100 was, and they go, oh, got to move back, guys. Get out of your seats. And they go back, and then the new guys go in front. And so what you end up with is the larger sacrificers consume a larger portion of the prime real estate next to the stage, and they shove everyone else farther and farther back. So you understand this in your subconscious, because you know sitting closer to the stage is better than sitting farther away. You get that. And you understand that there's a social ranking as well. Sitting in the back sucks when you sit in the front. Now, let me show it to you with math. These private messages from people with messed up names. Killing me. English, homies. English. It's awesome. A conductor, not a conductor, guy that works there. Flashlight, hat, can't remember what they're called. So that guy, he walks up to the front and he's got cards. And he looks at how many people there are. And then he takes the total 2.5x bonus and divides it by how many people there are. And so each card is a little bit less than the next card. And so he hands the first guy a 2.5x card. And he hands the next guy a 2.4999. The next guy, 2.4988. And then just a little bit less each time, a little bit less each time. And it's linear. Each guy gets a card that's a little bit less bonus than the next. And so at the end of the show, these guys take their bonus cards. They go out to the front ticket desk and they swap them for their free, coins. And so what you end up with is, if you overtake someone else, you not only take all the large bonuses that they got, but shove them into a position where they get even less bonuses because they're consuming less of the area. So not only are you getting in front of someone and taking their bonus, but you're also getting more of the better bonus area, and they're being pushed into less valuable bonus areas. And so this, and it's really amazing game theory, because if you've got two guys that are right next to each other, it's very valuable to hop over another guy. Oh, it only costs $1 to go over him. And then they fight, and you can keep re-adding, and it's really amazing game theory. So, and I don't think anything like that's ever existed before. I think I invented it. There's a shocking number of AVAX sacrificed. Cool. Is that an AP open work offshore? Yeah, it is. It's a Tourbillon. I've got another AP down here. That's another offshore chrono, but it doesn't have open work. I mean, it's factory, so like, it's just factory open work. Somebody said 30 million sacrificed just now. Let's go look. Let's go check it out. What blockchain founders do you respect and why? I respect Vitalik. He screwed over our users with S-load reading from disk costs, which caused me to become a greater man and found PulseChain. But other than that, he's supported the same medical research charities I have, the Sense Foundation. He supports, medical research. He writes free and open source software. He has a blog full of smart people stuff. He used to support Bitcoin way back when. Wrote articles for Bitcoin Magazine in 2013, 2014. I've been in since 2011. I've been in longer than him, but, he's one of the more useful. Oh, by the way, Hex has done very well on Ethereum. And I think all the airdrops we've received for free from being in Ethereum things is like pretty awesome. So I would say of the people in blockchain, I would respect Vitalik the most, even though he kind of screwed our users. He more than made up for it by all the other stuff, right? So I hope he enjoys his pitiful amount of free PulseX he'll be receiving. His 300,000 Ethereum that he has will only get him 300,000 Pulse. Whereas you could have also got 300,000 Pulse by, let me see here, $30. He's getting $30 of Pulse. I mean, the math's not accurate, right? Because like it launches at 0 and all that. But had you sacrificed for the political statement to support that free speech is an important human right and that blockchains are speech and therefore should be protected, had you supported that and got 10,000 points for your dollar of sacrifice, $30 of sacrifice would have gotten you 300,000 Pulse, which is the same thing that Vitalik's going to get. So for $30, you could have ended up where Vitalik's going to end up. But who knows? I mean, some of the sacrifice might be his. I don't know. A man with Asian symbols for his username. I don't even recognize these ones. These are out there. But the question's intelligent, so that's nice. How sad is it that I have to troll everyone that's from a non-English speaking place because so many bad English speakers have like trolled me? I have to, like, it's unfair. Like, there's smart, awesome, productive people in all these other countries, but then the dum-dums from their lands have caused me to consume hours of my time counter-trolling. Anyway, back to his good question. Is calling buy and burn function on PulseX, where you swap tokens, optional? Oh, okay. This is a good question. So his question is calling the buy and burn function on PulseX when you swap tokens optional or mandatory? And if the latter is true, what would the default buy pair be? One, you cannot do buy and burn without admin key because they do routing for the Uniswap pairs off chain. And therefore, if you let users do the routing, they'll empty the treasury through bad pairs that pump their bags, and they'll sandwich attack it as well, and et cetera. Like, it's just, you can't do it. So, and then second, you must also have no expectation of profit from the work of others. So the website says the 0.06% of the 0.29 total fee, 0.29% total fee, could be used to buy and burn. And that word could is very important because it means have no expectations. So there is no function to call buy and burn. And there never will be, unless blockchains become magically more powerful. Because just doing the order routing on a chain would consume all the processing power of the chain, and you wouldn't be able to actually do anything. So, like, blockchains are actually very weak. You have to really conserve your computation power. So, well, anyway. So there's not a buy and burn function. There is, however, and this is the part that makes your question interesting. There is a fee to address that scrapes off the fee. And in order to be gas efficient, the Uniswap V2 and V3 designers made it, and actually I'm not sure about V3, but definitely in V2 because I'm more familiar with that code. The actual payout to the fee to address, it only occurs when liquidity is added or removed. It doesn't occur on trades because it would increase everyone's gas costs. So because adding and removing liquidity is a much more rare operation than just trading, that's what triggers the actual scraping off of those fees. So they get logged and counted on the trades, but then they get actual like written to the other address only on adding or removing from LP. And you can read about that in the Uniswap V2 white paper. It's very well described there. 5,000 people, but only 358 likes. I find that hard to believe. I'm going to go verify this, and it better not be the case. Live stream, share. I'm going to go to my own live stream so that you can hear my voice twice. Hopefully I remember to turn the audio off. I see, how many likes do I see here? 2,400 likes with 5,000 people watching. It's not bad. He just didn't refresh. So that the watching counter moves, but the likes counter doesn't move, I don't think. So you actually have to refresh to see the likes. 5,000, by the way, this is the most people I've ever had watching before. 5,000 is very nice. Welcome, everybody. While you're here, follow me on Instagram, instagram.com/RichardHartOfficial. I've got few followers there. It's only like 16,000, but there's cool videos like Rolls-Royce Phantom, Ferrari, you know, cool stuff on that Instagram. Twitter.com is where I'm killing it. Twitter.com/RichardHartOfficial, and then YouTube.com/RichardHart. Go spread the word. I'm going to close this now. No reason to suck up the bandwidth. Let's do an old refresh here. 784, 790, 6 million since we last refreshed it. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Let's see here. Just in stablecoin so far, there's like 270 million in stables that have been sacrificed. No more. 275. It's not bad. Oh, no. I counted the Ethereum. Sorry. There was 112, 117 million of stable sacrificed. But from when I last looked, like the vast majority of that Ethereum got turned into stables. Looking at the contract, like doing the chain analysis on it. So if you like go to the actual address, let's go do that. Let's go to pulsex.info and then copy this address at the top and then go to etherscan.io, paste the address in, and then click the little wallet icon. And then this shows there's currently $39 million of Ethereum in the address, about $500 million of Hex, 149 million of DAI, 83 million of USDC, 32 million of Tether, 2 million of Matic. And that's like, there's been a lot of Matic dumped by this address. There's been a lot of SHIB dumped by this address. There's been a lot of Link dumped by this address. So for there to be 2.6 million there now, I mean, there had to be 3, 4, 5 million of Matic probably sacrificed. But we could see that on this other site. So we can just go to pulsexlead.com, click up at the top. It says, show me a comprehensive sacrifice breakdown, and it's going to list all the coins for you. So these numbers, thank you, dude that designed this, GameSys. Appreciate it, man. You know, donate to him if you like the site. I find it very, very useful. So he shows that there's been 2 million of Link. Hold on a second. Oh, he doesn't track the Matic because he's only tracking things that showed that they were like approved for sacrifice. The guys that sacrifice Matic are going to be fine. So I guess I'll mention this to him. Or if you're watching, hey, bro. Well, he's doing the right thing. He's listing the things that are on the site. So Someone should update the site to show Matic, because it is a liquid thing and millions of it has been sacrificed. So that should get added to the site. Because, I mean, you have Matic that you can sacrifice on Matic's own chain, and a lot of people have done that. It's been probably 2 million that came in that way. But apparently there's even more Matic on the Ethereum chain that have been sacrificed from what I'm looking at. So very interesting. That is very, very interesting. What else do we got here? GameSys messages me. Matic coming soon. All right. Cool, man. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Yeah, it's a big sacrifice. So I'd add it. 500,000 of chain link sitting there. 500,000. And there's been like millions sacrificed for chain link. Now he has that tracked. So, I lost the dollar values. Oh, because I moused over. 2 million of link, it says here. 2 million of SHIB. 3.2 wrap Bitcoin. 80 million USDC. 30 million Tether. 5 million in DAI. 166 million in Ethereum. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, these ERC-20s are killing the ERC-20s are killing the sacrifices on every single layer 1 network except Bitcoin. Period. So that's how powerful ERC-20s and tokens and Ethereum and soon PulseChain, that's how powerful they are. They're way better than L1 chains. This is the proof. Look. Doesn't get any more obvious than this. It's the proof. It's can't get it, can't get any more obvious. This is not because I've got a bunch of Link Marines as viewers. This is not because I've got a lot of SHIB people as viewers. This is probably just because those users are more engaged currently than most of the other L1 chains, Chat. So what else have we covered? We got near $1 billion of sacrifice. I've explained how you could swap before the bridge is open, PulseX for Pulse or vice versa. I've explained that the time when the snapshot and the block height of the fork occurs isn't going to be exact, so people can't try and game the system and pull their liquidity to avoid the liquidity harvester bot removing 99.9% of their liquidity. That's going to be so awesome. And then I've explained how awesome my price call was, in profit, 9 months, every single day, except one where it went up 6%, and then straight down 41% over 59 days. And then Hex, in the meantime, went up 33x and is currently sitting at 13, 14, 15x, something like that. By the way, Bitcoin from its all-time high of 20K only did like a 3.3x. Like, what do you want? Come on. It's trash. Why does anyone talk about that coin? Are you in this to get rich? Or are you in this to have slow and expensive transactions? Which ones? With less security. It's crazy to me. How much is the RM on your left? I think this is like 85K maybe. I think that's 85,000. Not a fan of leather band stuff, really. I've only got 2 leather band ones. No, I've got 3 now. You've done so much for the community. This may seem like a selfish question, but in your mind, what is next? I want total vertical integration. That means the only things we're missing in the stack, we've got value storage, we've got consensus network, we've got trading. The only things missing are wallet and fiat on-ramps. That's it. So what's next is probably wallet and fiat on-ramps. We're going to have a testnet v3. Yeah, you'll have a testnet v3 that has the balances written, your sacrifice balances. Why'd you get the Roma over previous Ferrari models? You can put girls in the back. It's a big deal. I like girls a lot. It is the only Ferrari you can do that with, except for the ugly GT4 Lusso, which is just ugly. Can I sack FTM ERC20 coin directly? If it's liquid. Yeah, yeah, you can swap. I mean, look, am I going to go look up FTM's liquidity? It's probably fine, man. Why can't I find the code for PulseX through GitLab? Just read Uniswap V2's code. So if you want, the vast majority of the functionality is just Uniswap V code standard, because that's already got fee scraping built into it. And then the only extra thing, or two extra things, are the inflating token for yield rewards, which you could see what Sushi and PancakeSwap are using, because we'll probably just fork those for that token. And then for the DAO part, which votes on the inflation of the other token, the two most popular platforms for DAOs, maybe Curve, maybe Gnosis, maybe Uniswap. Like, I haven't jumped into the DAO part yet, right? So I'm not that familiar with that code, but those are the most popular kind of DAO empowering things. So all this code is written. It's just choosing which parts to mix and match with other parts. But Uniswap V2 is the vast majority of it, and that's like good to go. Because you have to understand, like, the PulseX coin itself is not affected at all by the DAO, and is not affected at all by the inflating token. So, you know, Uniswap V2 and PulseX, which can only deflate, can't inflate, that's it. The other extra token, DAO, it's, you know, the PulseX can vote in the DAO, but they can't go the other way. Like, the DAO can't affect the PulseX. Will you apply to receive your 100K YouTube play button? I didn't know there is one. And probably not. I don't think 100K is very many. Estimate of when Pulse and PulseX will be on the market? 2 months. But it's been 2 months for a couple months, so software estimates are very hard. How long does it take to be shown on PulseX lead? I don't know. But my guess is that you didn't sacrifice on the Ethereum network, or you sacrificed a coin that wasn't in the approved list, which you may still be okay. Like, I'm trying to show mercy on people that are too stupid to follow directions. So a lot of you guys sacrifice stuff that you shouldn't have. I'm trying to show mercy on all you guys. Therefore, you know, especially if it's liquid, the mercy's easier to show. But some people sacrifice things that, you know, you do the chain analysis and you look, when the address dumped it, it took a 50% haircut. So the value was really 50% less upon dumping. That guy ain't getting the credit. Like, if he gets any credit, he's definitely not getting what, like, you can't sacrifice illiquid things and then, particularly ones that aren't okay. Like, mercy, we're trying to show mercy. And let me put it this way. I've had a dev working on just measuring all of those things for a long time now. It's actually hard. You're like, all right, how many decimals does this coin have? What was the price? Where is it traded? How liquid was it? Is there a function which actually scrapes it off? So if you tried to dump at that price, there's like a hidden fee. All right. Like, a lot of these coins nowadays, if you try and transfer them, they steal 5% or 10% of your transaction. There's like a 5 or 10% tax hidden in the coin. Well, that's not shown on Uniswap, is it? So then you have to go and look at every one of these coins and see, like, is there a hidden 5 or 10% tax on this crap? Sucks, man. So that's why there's a list of coins that's approved, right? When you venture outside that list, you take into your own risk whether you're going to get credit or not. And you might not. I think the majority of those people will be okay, because a lot of the stuff is liquid. But, you know, I hate talking about it because I don't want people to cause extra workload by doing it, to tell you the truth. Concern troll question. Somebody asked about, like, decentralized things becoming regulated. And I won't hide you on channel but I don't feel like being concern trolled today. I just have concerns. What if a solar flare takes out all the internet? I don't know, man. Concern troll elsewhere. Can you walk through an example of how an existing ETH project would migrate to Pulse? Yes, it's very easy. Your code's already there. It's already deployed. Your coins are already there. All of your users' keys already work. All you got to do is point your front end to another IP, and then your front end thinks that that's where the Ethereum network is, but now it's the Pulse network. Maybe add a drop-down button that lets your users switch between networks. It's about that easy. Like, it's really cool, you know. It's just like the Ethereum network now lives at a different address because it's mostly the same code. We changed consensus. We removed proof of work, replaced it with proof of stake. You know, we do validator rotation, things like that. But the actual like EVM that runs all the code, and it's all the same. So vast majority of the code is the same. So you really should just be able to, instead of launching your test stuff on the Ethereum testnet, you can just launch it on the Pulse testnet. And I don't think you're going to detect any difference. When? Oh, somebody's trying to talk about ETH version 2. Yeah, when, dude? It's 6 years late. When? It may never come to market. We'll see. Oh, and their staking sucks, and their inflation sucks. Their staking causes you to give your keys to somebody else because you need 32 ETH minimum. In PulseChain, there's no minimum. You can just delegate your stake to somebody else, earn. So what happens in the Ethereum system? Everybody gives their keys to somebody else, and those people run away with the money. We've already $100 million already got lost that way. So I'm not worried about ETH 2.0. Hey, Richard, I accidentally sacrificed the old Pulse sacrifice address, PulseChain one. Is there a way to revert to PLS token? I don't know what to do about you guys, man. I don't know what to do about you guys. I'll think about it. We've got a couple months to think about it. Wish you guys would stop screwing up. Hey, I sent my coins to the wrong address. Oh, yeah. Well, probably shouldn't do that. Please don't do that. Richard, where can I buy the same hex necklace? You can't buy this. This was handmade. And by handmade, I mean every single thing was hand cut by hand with a saw. And every stone was hand set. It's double-sided. You go watch the video on how this was made. This is a gift I got from a dude named Psycho Psy from Hex Toys. Go. It's in the description of the video. You can watch the 10-minute how this was made. It's really awesome. Let's do a refresh. So we were at 790. Now we're at 815. How much is that? 35 million? 25 million. 25 million came in since the last time we refreshed. It's pretty neat. Let's go look at the address balances. So these address balances were at 782 mil, including hex. Let's remove the hex for a laugh. So it's 471 of hex. So let's do this real quick. 782,203,537 minus 471,618,709. 310,584,000 of non-hex value in the contract there. And if we do a refresh, now it's at 799. And we're going to open up another calculator here and do that same subtraction. 799,288,076 minus 482,461,418. That's 316,826,000. So there's an extra $6 million of non-hex value that was input into the contract since we last refreshed it. Pretty cool. Oh, only 6 minutes left until the ticker ticks over, I think. So you got 6 minutes left to sacrifice before you got to get 5% less credit. And then the next day it's 5% less. And the next day it's 5% less. And then after 47 days, it's 10x less. So the ramp is steep. And then after 3 months, it's like 2,000x less. Some very large number. I guess we could watch the contract live on Etherscan. So instead of looking at token holdings, we could just look at ERC-20s. It's not going to, I mean, it's not going to show the Ethereum. So we could open up 2 tabs. Oh, look, an advertisement for people to lose their money margin trading. Nice. Good job, Etherscan. Scan everybody. Ether scam. Scam everybody so that they lose all their money. Good work. Good advertisement you got there. Crypto. Yeah, so watching, wow. Geez, these sacrifices are flying in here. The first page only covers 1 minute of transactions. Man, that's crazy. I wonder if it's consuming a ton of gas. So let's go to the gas tracker and see if... no, I don't think the receiving would show in the gas tracker. Yeah. I don't think being a recipient is going to consume gas, so the address isn't going to show there. I'll just copy paste it to make sure. Oh, it is there. Okay, so apparently receiving Ethereum is listed on the gas tracker. Oh my God, Hex is here too. Interesting. Okay, Hex is the number 11 most gas consuming coin currently on Ethereum. Did not know that. My God. $324,000 of Ethereum fees to use the Hex contract and the last 24 hours. Ugh. Please, PulseChain. PulseChain, please reduce the Ethereum fees for everyone, please. PulseChain.com, please reduce everyone's Ethereum fees because Hexicans just paid $324,000 to use Hex on the Ethereum network today. I didn't know that that was the case. Wow. And then the sacrifice address is number 16, $162,000 of ETH fees. Okay. All right. Well, that's $500,000 today of fees from Hex and from the sacrifice address. Crazy. Should take a screenshot of this. Why not? Boop. Okay. Where are we at? 2 minutes until it ticks over. Let's refresh again. So there's $43 million of Ethereum now in there. Refresh. 44 million. Cool. Yeah, these transactions cover the last like 50 seconds on the front page here. A lot of Hex sacrifices coming at the end. A lot of USDC too. Very interesting. Now what's neat is that we can go in PulseX Lead and it actually gives us a count of how many people sacrificed. 61,000 so far. Oh, it's going to take a while to load. Yeah, Etherscan's doing the refresh quicker. Gas fees today are... Earlier they were way bad. Now they're less horrible. I've seen some screenshots for like $300 average Uniswap. Now it's like $77 average Uniswap. I remember back when it was pennies. Only a year and a half ago. Yeah, now the front page only covers 30 seconds of transactions. When people are really jumping in there. People are DMing me. I'm in. All right. 850. Oh, it's, yeah, 30 seconds passed. Or no, 26 seconds. It turns red. Hey, good code, man. It's literally, when it's down to seconds, the ticker turns red. Oh, that's so cool. 14 seconds left. 822 million. 822 million. This is really neat, man. I think this is awesome. So, is day one over now? Where's my tab? Yep, day one's over. We're 10 seconds in. Yeah. Well, now everybody gets 5% less. I like this site. It's a nice looking site. PulseX.com. So 822 million is where we're at right now. It's not bad. Freedom of movement, freedom of assembly. Apparently, very important political concepts. Might remind you, they're enshrined in the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America. They're in there. Let me read the First Amendment to you right quick. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of people to assembly, the right of people to peaceably, what is this language? Congress shall make no law respecting, this is a lot of ors, this sentence is crap. They spoke bad English back then. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people to peaceably, is this really, they put too many twos? It says on Wikipedia, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble. Okay, so in modern English, we would say to peaceably assemble. And then back then they said the right of the people peaceably to assemble. So we would never say peaceably to assemble. It just sounds stupid. But hey, these guys used to wear wigs, so. And to petition government for redress of grievances. So right here, freedom of assembly is guaranteed in the First Amendment. And how do you assemble? By traveling. You got to travel to assemble physically. You do it different digitally. You can become like a member of a community or like a member of a union or a political party. But to physically assemble and talk to each other, you know, they didn't have the internet back then. So they had to physically meet. Yeah, it's in the First Amendment. But people, they forget it's there. They just get locked up in virtual prisons. And you can't go where you want to go anymore, which is prison. The difference between prison and not prison is where you get to go. So there's a lot of people in prison right now, and it sucks. Let's do a final refresh on the old Ether scan here. So there's 44 million in ETH. Now there's, I think it's roughly the same. Yeah. Let's see if those transactions are the same speed, or they slowed down at all. All you guys with pending transactions should have paid more for gas, huh? Yeah. Yeah, it covers the first 3 minutes now. So the transactions have slowed down, right? So the first page covers 3 minutes instead of like half a minute. So I guess it's like 6 times slower transaction throughput now. And a very small sample size, right? Still good sacrifices coming in. 40 grand, 3 grand, you know, 2,500, 5 grand, $41, $500, you know, a lot of sacrifices. Let's get our user count. Closing some windows here. F5. This is going to lag a bit, so. take a look at chat here. How will this work if price starts at 0? What will cause it to rise if it is 0? It cannot multiply if it is 0. Someone will buy everything if it is 0. Well, man, that's a cool story. But Bitcoin used to not have a price. And then it had a price. Paintings, which didn't exist, didn't have prices. And then people painted them. And then they had prices. So this idea that you can't understand how something can go from not having a price to having a price makes me very curious. For that is how everything works. Everything starts without a price. And then, once it's created, price discovery creates a price. So, don't know what to tell you, man. Look, just because something starts at 0 doesn't mean the next ticker trade is 0. You're probably not going to get any trades at 0. You might. But you're probably not. Like if you move your own coins from one wallet to another, there's no price there, right? There's just people moving coins, there's people trading coins. People can trade and move coins all they want. If I'm sitting and eating dinner with you and I ask you to hand me the knife and I hand you a fork, there was value transfer, but there was no price, right? So your concerns are unwarranted. It's going to be okay. Can I send hex directly to the PulseX sacrifice address? Yes, from your own wallet, not from an exchange. What's the average amount sacrificed? I don't know. You'd have to do chain analysis to figure it out. How does a TWAP work? Don't ask. It's hard. PulseChain's fine for micropayments. How fast is it? 3-second blocks. So it's got a lot more throughput than Ethereum. So the answer is yes. Can you unblock me from Twitter? Maybe. Direct message me on Telegram. I don't feel like copy pasting in a chat. I sacrifice in BNB. Much better low fees than USDT or Ethereum. Yeah, all right, cool. True that, bro. Does another guy ask about this buy everything for 0? Listen, just because the price starts at 0, it doesn't mean anyone's going to sell to you for 0, man. Just because something doesn't have a price and starts at 0, the next ticker, the next trade could be a lot higher. Just because something starts at 0 doesn't mean that the next trade is 0. It means the next trade could be whatever you want. I don't think you're going to be getting anything for 0, man. I mean, you can give your friends stuff for 0. Hello from Japan. Thanks, man. My dog is watching. Shout out to Ryder. All right. Turn on the watch winders. I don't know, man. These things, I'll try these. Oh, this one's not plugged in. You know what? None of them's turned on because I have the switch turned off. Sorry, buddy. I don't feel like getting up to go turn it on. Can I sacrifice AVAX? Yep. Yes, you can. Why am I still watching myself? Well, anyway, as long as the audio is not on. Did I ever spend time in Santa Barbara in the 90s? No. Somebody asked if they can make PulseX a mobile app. It already is. So like PulseX uses mostly the Uniswap V2 front end, and that works on MetaMask mobile. So if you don't want to use MetaMask, then you need a wallet, man. Like there's no way to use crypto without the wallet. So you install MetaMask and you'll use PulseX for MetaMask. It's easy. Is there a good narrative for buying and holding the yield farming incentive token? I think the best narrative for that is that duct taped on stupid tokens seem to do good anyway, for reasons no one understands. Like the Uniswap token doesn't do anything, but they duct taped it onto Uniswap and it's worth billions. The Dogecoin token doesn't do anything. It's worth billions. The Bitcoin token doesn't do anything. Can't yield farm with it. Can't what can you do with Bitcoin? You can just sit there and hold it, and that's it. So, and it did just fine. Went up 6.9 million X. It's a lot of X. So like, you know, this idea that you have to come up with some meme in order for the other token to do well, it's not actually necessary. Like, I don't know. It's, I prefer Pulse and PulseX and Hex. The other token has not even a name yet, but like, game theory is still open. If you want to have input on the game theory, come into t.me/PulseX.com, t.me/PulseX.com, and there's, you know, 37,000 people in there chatting about it right now. You can have your input heard in regards to the yield farming incentive token. I think that because everyone knows that all of these tokens go up, and that since the supply is not given to sacrificers, so right now, all of the Pulse supply, the vast, almost all, like 99.9 whatever percent, right? Like it goes, well, let's call it 99%, or let's call it 96%, goes to the sacrificers in PulseChain, because there's like also the 1% to an address you have no expectation of, and maybe the square root of 6, which is like 2.25% to the automated market maker price fixing bot. That's just an estimate. But in this incentive token that inflates, all of that, none of that supply goes to the sacrificers. That's just for people that are farming the yield. And so if you're the first yield farmer, you're going to get all of the supply. And then a next guy will appear, and then he'll get some. And then a next guy will appear, and he'll get some. And so the supply of the yield farming token, I think one of the coolest parts of it is that when you get in as a liquidity provider, you're getting all of the rewards. So like, it's interesting. I have to do the math on it, but the liquidity providers get that token and the sacrificers don't, even though the sacrificers get the token that controls that token through a DAO. So it's interesting. It's interesting. If you want to add some stupid meme, if it's a good enough stupid meme idea, it's doable. What's my favorite movie? Aliens and the Game. Aliens is my favorite movie. S on the end. I'm going to read this quote. This is a nice one. This is a good one. Chaotic Creations FX Studio says, BTC is a utility token to bet on if the price is going up or down, so you can enrich levered trading platforms when they Darth Maul you and liquidate you. So Darth Maul candle is where the price goes up, everyone thinks they're getting rich, and then it goes down and makes new lows and closes low. Well, I mean, actually the Darth Maul candle, that would be like a bearish engulfing, but so a Darth Maul candle is, it opens here, it opens lower than the day before, so it's red, and then it goes up high and everyone thinks that it's going to go great, and it wicks up, and then it wicks down like everyone's going to get killed, but then it goes up again near the middle, and then it looks like Darth Maul's like dual lightsaber or whatever with the two red things at the end. So that's a Darth Maul candle. But traditionally, like a Judas candle, where like the 6%, oh, we played the breakout, we're making new all-time highs, getting long, down 41%. Like that's the worst candle for traders. Breakout traders is the Judas candle. But I love the comment, man. Respect. Nice comment. What's the brand of the shirt you have on? This is a Louis Vuitton shirt. Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton. I don't know, man. I ain't got no French accent. Shout out to Steph Jukson, in hospital having head reduction surgery. Head reduction surgery? Never even heard of that, man. Hope it works out. Do I need to transfer my ERC-20s from my cold wallet to MetaMask to get... No, you don't. You don't have to do anything. You don't got to transfer nothing. Spin the rollies. No, they're not plugged in, man. Look, they're not plugged in. One of them's plugged in and the switch to the power is off. The other one is not plugged in. The specificity with which I describe things. If I sack 3,000 XRP, what comes back in PulseX? Well, if you sack 3,000 XRP, you're supporting the political statement that you love, freedom of assembly, freedom of movement. You get points, and you get free coins. And so there's a ratio of 10,000 to 1. There's also volume bonuses. But let's say you didn't get a volume bonus for fun. You would get 10,000 times 3,000 is how many PulseX you'd get. And 10,000 times 3,000, I believe, is 30 million. Somebody says the game, one of the greatest movies of all time. I thought it was awesome, yeah, man. Did you raise 800 million in your boxers? Well, let's check them out. Are these boxers? No. They're fine silk Burberry shorts. Prediction for price. I don't really do that, man. But there's a lot of people that do, so you can go watch their channels. I mean, unless you're talking about Bitcoin or Ethereum. Talk about their prices. Look at that belly. I'm watching the rewind. Ooh, look at that sexy belly. A lot of calories that guy eats. Jeez, man. Let me tell you, this I put on a little weight since I got back for Christmas. Oh, boy. How does PulseX work? It's like Uniswap, but lower fees. What else? Go to the website. I mean, there's other things, but I don't want to. I'm tired of massaging the language. So there's a 0.06. Oh, God. I'll do it again. Normal industry standard fees and Uniswaps are 0.3%. We undercut them and set it at 0.29. 0.01 goes to 0.01% goes to an address you can have no expectations of, and 0.06 goes to an address. It's really the same address because that's how the fee2 thing works. It's in the code. It could be used for buying and burning, but it also could not, because you can't have any expectations, because this ain't a security, and you must have no expectation of profit from the work of others. So it's unfortunate that that's how life is. The original intention was to just have a contract that you could call to do it all, and then upon research you discover it's not possible. The gut is a sign of opulence and wealth. Okay, man. People of Walmart would like to check in with you. Howdy from Alaska. Just sacrificed for the first time. Welcome aboard, Mr. Alaskan Dreamer. Juice cleanses will make that tum-tum disappear in weeks. Okay. Yeah. If we made a Sens donation, we'll be able to see that in our Pulse balance. Yeah, we got to publish that spreadsheet, man. We could just, you know, we could just publish the send spreadsheet separate, because that we're just forwarding that from the people that gave it to us, the Sense Foundation. So we should at least produce that. That's a good idea. Apparently a lot of people sent into the wrong sacrifice address. Please don't do that. God. Mohammed Negleb asks twice in rapid, oh no, 3 times in rapid succession. What is top goal of price? I don't know what prices are going to do, but I have predicted the Bitcoin top several times. Well, twice, I guess. And I have invented a coin which went up in price 10,000x in 623 days before staking. Much more if you staked. And the other tokens that I've designed have very, very awesome features and already have extremely dedicated communities with tattoos on their body and everything. And these aren't paid. These are passionate. People just love it so much they tattoo it on their body. So what can the price do? I think everything that I designed can do a 10,000x in under 2 years. But what is the likelihood of that happening? I don't know. It's 100% for Hex because it already happened. But for Pulse and PulseX, I don't have a crystal ball. So I know they can do 10,000x in under 2 years. I don't know what they will do. Let's wait till they exist and find out, right? So, I mean, these questions, really new investors ask these questions, which they shouldn't ask because the answers are obviously not knowable. I mean, I guess it's useful for me to tell you that a 10,000x is totally possible and doable because Bitcoin did it, Ethereum did it, Hex did it. Lots of other coins have done it. So, like, yes, 10,000 times your money is something that cryptocurrencies can and do surprisingly often. So it's pretty awesome. I mean, I only know 3. So I'm sure there's more. Like, I think Doge has been around so long, it probably did it, right? So I know maybe 4 that have done it. Hex, Bitcoin, Ethereum, maybe Doge. But I don't really know a 5th. So I shouldn't say it's that common, I guess, without any evidence. But, you know, my last coin did. Can't wait to sell PulseX to buy Ethereum just to screw myself one last time. What? Lol. Is Hex a security or a digital asset? Go to hex.com/scam or just read hex.com how it works. A security is where you put money into a common pool with the expectation of profit solely from the work of others, which may or may not have, usually does, have critical entrepreneurial or managerial effort, to quote you the exact language from the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. Hex ain't got that stuff. So it's not a security. There's no middlemen. There's you. You run the code or you don't. That's it. There's no middlemen. There's no building full of people working for you. There's no middlemen. There's you in the code. You run it or you don't run it. Period. Some of these questions are complicated. Will there be copied, non-re-ratioed liquidity pools before the fixer bought, or has the fixer already harvested and realigned them by the time the swaps are available to be performed? You're not going to be able to front run the bot, bro, if that's what your question is. Bot's going to get to do its thing before anybody else gets to do anything. I wish you'd do a live once a week. I feel bad for you reading through all the stupid comments. # I'm selfish. I feel you, man. Sam from Switzerland here. Thank you for your hard work. How do you handle all the expectations and how do you cope with the pressure? Apparently I eat. Unfortunately. But it's better than drinking and gambling. But like I've been working out good since before the New Year's. I started doing chin-ups and push-ups every day and doing real good at it. I think I've only missed one day. Hi, Richard. Even though I'm in ISO for COVID, I use FaceTime and Zoom to onboard family and friends to PulseX. Getting sick didn't stop me from onboarding others. Nice, man. Good stuff, Ronnie. Is PulseChain testnet working well? Yeah. Works great. Just make sure you're using the right settings, dude. How long until testnet v3? It's a good question. I'll have to check in on it. How can someone track sacrifice BTC? I made a tweet about it. You just insert the XPub into Electrum and then increase your gap limit to like 2,000 or 3,000. I tweeted the instructions how to do it. So search my Twitter for XPub. XPUB. From : Richard Hartwin space XPub. One word. Thanks for the opportunity to get into PulseX on the ground floor. You're a living legend. Thanks, man. What do you think's going to happen to the economy of the USA? I don't know, dude. Seems like it's wrecked. Insane amounts of hex is sacrificed to remove some supply. That's a lot of hex. It cannot be sold. Well, it could be sold, but looking at those addresses, it seems like they don't like selling. How much do you think the amount of hex sacrifice can impact the price? If supply and demand is what matters and you remove a bunch of supply off the market, that's bullish for price. I mean, if you look at the chart, hex seemed to go up a lot after the last sacrifice. So that's cool. Why do most popular crypto YouTube personalities act like hex does not exist and then shill horrible projects? That's a great question, Mr. Retro Crypto. Great question. Do you think Satoshi Nakamoto is alive? No. Shib did it too, right? I don't know what that means. I sacrifice using BTC. Yeah, you got to use that XPub thing I told you about, dude. Like, yeah, that's the only way to do it. I mean, you could also... There's other ways that you could do it, but that one's the easiest. Please help the dev community out and provide API to pull the PRC-20 market values. Okay. Also, please treat Pulse with that sweet premium Etherscan Explorer that it truly deserves. Why don't you have those guys that advertise things that destroy their users all the time contact me? So you have Etherscan, contact me. That'll be just fine. Richard@hex.com. And tell them to stop destroying their users by advertising things that harm them while you're at it. It's disgusting. I have ads turned off on my channel. Richard, could you explain in simple non-crypto language how important it is to have liquidity in the PulseX pool token? Well, I mean, I don't know what you mean exactly. Are you talking about bridged in stablecoin from the Ethereum network pooled with the PulseX token in the PulseX exchange on the PulseChain network? assume that's what you're talking about, because I think that would be a very liquid pair. I think it's very important, and you'd reward that pair with a good amount of liquidity incentive tokens, I would assume, because, I mean, from my perspective, I think Hex is going to be very liquid on the Pulse chain. Just a guess. I think Pulse is going to be very liquid on the Pulse chain. And I think PulseX is going to be very liquid on the Pulse chain. Now, where possible, you'd prefer to see liquidity more on the bid side than the ask side, because supply and demand, right? You're right. But it's because these are Uniswap V2 systems, they're symmetrical liquidity. So until there's like a 0x, or, you know, if people want to use Uni V3 stuff, but they're like, all of those liquidity providers are getting emptied at launch, so they'd have to like refill. Yeah, I think it's important, but there is such a thing as too much liquidity too. So there's an art to getting the number right. And usually auto balances, because liquidity providers are smart. If too many people pile on to the same thing, the yield goes down, because they're all sharing off the same fees from the same volume. So the volume is not really going to go up or down too much with the amount of liquidity, but the profit per liquidity provider will go up or down. And so you can annualize those with those percentage-based APYs you see. I mean, it seems like a good question, but it's just really hard to answer. I think those pairs will be liquid, and I think they'll be just liquid enough. We'll see. Because if you want price appreciation, you can't have too much liquidity, because it just makes it so the price can't move. Huh. Somebody asked me about another chain and said some people sacrificed there. I didn't know that. I will go look. Cool. I'll go check it out. See if we can show mercy on those guys. Well, we get an ePLSX in the same way we get an ePLS. I don't think you have those things. So we use the E prefix for things that are bridged in from Ethereum. PLSX and PLS only exist on the Pulse chain. If you did bridge them back to Ethereum for some reason to go pay ultra high fees on that side instead of lower fees on this side, I don't know why you would do that. But if you did that, I assume you'd stick a P prefix in there, and it would be PPLSX and PPLS. Hope that answers your question. Just remember, you guys asking about expectations, particularly expectations of profit from the work of others. Don't have any of those expectations. Have you seen the Eric Wall video apology I did? It was cool. Wasn't exactly an apology, but it's good enough. When will the Hex documentary release? January of next year, I'm told. Can you shout out early adopter Serena Alonzi? I sure can. What's my target for sacrifices? More? I mean, I look at it this, like, I'm a fan of freedom of movement, freedom of assembly, and I'm a fan of people not getting scammed. So I think sacrificing for good things is one way to not get scammed. It seems like idle hands are the devil's playground, and people love to buy stuff that sucks. And you're like, stop doing that, everybody. Hey, Richard, just sacrificed 30,000. What? Sacrificed? Did I just say that? How tired am I? Hey, Richard, just sacrificed 30,000 penguins from Antarctica. The snow has turned red. Oh my God. What? Don't troll, man. Can I bridge Hex from Polygon to PulseChain? I guess you could, but your community... We'll talk about bridges that aren't Ethereum later. Someone just made a great video on bridges, and it's on Matty Allen's show, his channel, his YouTube channel. I haven't watched it yet, but it's probably really, really good because I know the guy that did it, and smart guy. So if you want to learn about bridges, Matty Allen on YouTube has a great video about it. Lol. Front end dev of PulseX lead here. Thanks for all the support. Thank you, man. If you're really the one. It's weird because your username is different. Can you explain what it is to be fully audited in regards to Hex? It just means that security professionals have looked at the code to see if they could find any bugs. That's it. Have you reported the fake Richard Hart profile on Twitter? Which one? There's a lot. I report them when I see them. I hope everyone else does too. For the Pulse tokens that end up having value, I mean, like, Uniswap allows everything to trade versus everything else. So if anything has value, everything has value because you can route from one thing to anything else, right? So, and he asks, what are the steps that one might be able to do to go from Pulse to a stable coin on the Ethereum chain? Well, you just bridge in the stable coin to the Pulse chain. And we've already got working bridges from Ethereum testnet to PulseChain testnet. So we have working bridges for different coins. You would just bridge in let's say you want to bridge in USDC from the Ethereum chain. It becomes eUSDC on the PulseChain network. And then you just make a pair. So you go to pulsex.com, you click make a pair, and then you add equal value, the PRC-20 and the bridged in USDC. That's it. So you're going to, it's the same as the Uniswap V2 interface. So you could go to ethhex.com right now and click pool and then create a new pair, or you could do it on Uniswap, or you could do it on Sushi, or all types of places you could add pairs. So it's just the same thing, but on pulsex.com on the PulseChain network. So the answer to your question is click pool and then deposit at equal ratio, the one side and the other side, equal dollar ratio. Just discovered this guy yesterday and sacrificed some ETH. What a guy. Love him already. His name's Core Coder. Thanks, man. Very kind of you. Is it possible to buy tokens on PulseX with fiat or credit card or other means? That's out of my wheelhouse. That's up to the rest of the world. We do see fiat integration for... There are other chains that aren't Ethereum that fiat on-ramps have directly integrated with. And so I think if they were smart, they would directly integrate with this as well. I think we're going to have a lot of users by having the world's largest airdrop. Airdrops to very small subsets of users have been very successful. Imagine airdropping everyone. I think it's going to be very successful. I think we're going to have a ton of users. Absolute ton. Can you stake PulseX? Maybe. Depends. I mean, you could put it in a liquidity provider pair. I'm not sure about single-sided kind of just stake it kind of reward thing. The DAO could decide on that. So it's a maybe. But it wouldn't be rewarded with PulseX tokens, which can only deflate. It would be rewarded with the extra inflating token, which needs a better name, by the way. Inflating token isn't a good name. Adios Gamer says, what will you do with the sacrifice tokens? He didn't hear anything about have no expectation of profit from the work of others. He just asked a question I told everyone to not ask. So, just for you, Adios Gamer, you will have no expectation of profit from the work of others. Don't count other people's money. It ain't yours. Don't expect anything from anyone else. You can expect things from yourself. That's it. Can't be more clear about that. Other things here have leading language, like, what are your plans after you push PulseChain and PulseX into the top 10? Hi, I'm Richard Hart. I don't work for you. I just literally occasionally do a live stream about stuff I think is cool. Me ain't doing nothing. It's hard to get these guys to understand it. It's hard to get them to get it. If you put money into a common pool with the expectation of profit solely from the work of others, and there's essential entrepreneurial and managerial effort, you might have a security. And securities are regulated activity. So nothing I build is a security, bro. Do you have any idols? No. Can I get one of your watched so I can feed my village? Awesome. Yes, all of these questions that ask me what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit with my thumb up my butt and do nothing. That's your answer, all right? How do the devs find bugs? Well, I mean, how does a plumber install toilet? It's a professional thing that professionals do where you spend time learning about it. So like you can read about it if you want. There's a Consensus has a sheet of common bugs that developers do. You can go read that. Rich, is my hair real? Yeah. What do you mean is my hair real? Why wouldn't my hair be real? What am I looking forward to most in 2022? I want to have 4 charts to brag about. I want to have PulseChain, PulseX, Hex on the Ethereum network, Hex on the Pulse network. I want those 4 charts to brag about. That's what I want for 2022. I wouldn't mind having top 3 or 4 market cap spots. I'd like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Richard Hart invented projects. Awesome. That'd be really cool. What happens if PulseX does a 10,000x in a month? Pretty cool. I sacrificed Cardano. Can I see a sacrifice confirmation? It's all on chain. Well, okay. Cardano's hard because Cardano is a UTXO based system. And unlike Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Dogecoin, well, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Bitcoin, I can give you the XPub. Well, 4 things. Oh God, how do I say this? Cardano wallets do not easily allow you to do anything. And so you can't import an XPub and monitor it as a view-only address. Whereas I gave instructions on how to input the XPub into Electrum on Bitcoin and change your gap limit to read farther ahead into the derivation path to see all the addresses that the XPub is going to generate, or the addresses that are derived from the XPub. But you can't do that for Cardano. It involves some wallet hacking and some scripting because their wallet sucks. So I don't have an easy way for you to monitor your Cardano sacrifice yet. But actually, there is a website that allows you to view the total number of coins in control of the XPub and their ability to stake. I don't know, dude. This answer sucks so bad because it's so long because their stuff sucks. I might be able to find a website that might be able to track the incoming transactions to that XPub. Maybe. I did publish that address. So if you do a search for from : Richard Hartwin space Cardano space sacrificed with a D at the end, I think you'll find my link that tells you where you can see the total number of coins that have come in. And then if you click around on that site, maybe you'll get lucky and you'll be able to drill down into each transaction that generated that total. That's the only hope for that, because otherwise inputting the XPub into their wallet, the dataless wallet, it's a nightmare. It's a literal nightmare. And I haven't done it myself. Like, did it for the last sacrifice phase, haven't done it for this one. Will Hex on the Pulse network function exactly the same way as Hex currently functions? Yep. Same code. Richard's so cool and down to earth. Thanks, Benny. Another guy asked for price target. Come on, guys. Nobody knows these things. They're not knowable. They're designed to the best of my intellectual ability. It's done. I'm not answering this question again. I just answered it a couple minutes ago, man. Target, please, sir. It's like a meme. Some of these questions I've asked. The buy and burn one, answered already. I didn't get my sacrifice in before the rate jumped. I thought I had much more time. Any grace for people that sacrifice very close to the time rate jump? No. Absolutely not. I am a merciful God, but I will tell you what, that particular thing, no, man. Absolutely not. Richard said he was a god. What an idiot. Not a god. Not that any of you guys thought I was like a fat old graying bearded god. But hey, I mean, in popular culture, he has a white beard, so maybe I'm on my way, right? Any word on the coin market cap lawsuit? I don't know where it's at. I mean, I heard Johnny Chaos like just talking about it. He says it's still in progress. It was the last update I saw on Twitter. Oh, I'm probably screwing over. Oh, in 15 minutes, the Hex conference starts. So they're not screwed over yet. But if I go longer than 15 minutes, they will be. Let's get a link in here for those guys. Well, you know what? I'll do it through the community tab. I'll tweet a link to Maddie's Hex conference, which should be going live in 12 minutes. People keep asking about the buy and burn. No expectations, man. I'm sorry. Does PulseX have any utility? You should try reading the website. PulseX.com. It's a cool website. It is the only thing that can vote in the DAO that controls the inflating token that rewards LP providers. And it was originally designed to have a buy and burn function, but since it couldn't be made public, now you must have no expectation of it. But there still is an address which gets the 0.06%. So who knows what that address might do? You may have no expectations, but I guess you could watch it and see what it does. When do your watches start whining? When I like click the power button and click another power button. To be specific, you know what? You guys want it so bad. Fine, I'll do it. That's the disco lights. You guys didn't know I had disco lights in here, did you? I also have disco lights in this room. There's all kinds of cool stuff in this place that you guys don't know about. So you want watch winding, huh? Spin, my pretties, spin. Where can you track the XRP SAC? That should be really easy because that's an address-based chain. So everything goes to a single address. You should be able to just see that on the Blockchain Explorer. Difference between Hex and Pulse? Bro. Not even gonna... Not... What? It's like... Not gonna answer it. You got a lot of learning to do. Fine. Pulse is like Ethereum. PulseX is like Uniswap. And Hex is like Hex. You just need to learn what Hex is. Hex will like run on top of the Ethereum network, as it does now and has for several years, or 2 years. And then it will also run the PulseChain network. Oh my God. Richard Hart, why don't you list Hex in Binance? Hey, Leo Miranda. Do you remember that time, a couple minutes ago, where I said, have no expectation of profit from the work of others, and that I don't work for you, and that I just sit around with my thumb in my butt? Do you remember that? Okay. Don't ask me stupid questions, man. That's a stupid question. You want Hex on Binance? You go do it. And as you can see, my thumb actually isn't where I am jokingly saying it is. Why do I answer questions and they keep asking the same questions? Why? You guys are so frustrating. Long John Crypto asks, my friend sacrificed Matic and it is not showing up on Pulse Lead. Long John Crypto, the guy that built Pulse Lead, literally had to make it so that a giant pop-up occurred every single time you access the site. Every single time now, because of stupid questions like yours. Because it very clearly says, as plain as day, in the pop-up, that it only tracks the Ethereum chain. PulseXlead.com. So I'm going to read the pop-up to you. Do you know how crappy that is for me to have to read this pop-up to you, man? It really sucks. Especially since I've covered this 10 times in the stream. Giant, please read. This website only tracks Ethereum chain sacrifices. Specifically, Ether and the rest of the tokens listed when you click the Ethereum chain at pulsex.info. Do you understand that, man? It just tracks the Ethereum chain. Is the Matic chain... Oh, wait. Hold on. He didn't say Matic chain. He just said Matic. It's a weird world we live in now. The Matic chain is not tracked. And the Matic on Ethereum chain is not tracked because it wasn't in the list, but he's going to add it. So maybe I shouldn't have been so rough on you, because just recently a ton of people did sacrifice Matic, not on the Matic chain, but on the Ethereum chain. And it wasn't in the list of approved things, but you're hearing it from me. It's approved. So go ahead. It's not there because it wasn't in the list. So your question wasn't as bad as I thought it was, because I forgot there's a Matic chain and a Matic coin, and there's a ton of sacrifices of Matic on the ETH chain now. Did I troll you too hard? No. I mean, if you'd read this, it still literally says why it's not there. So no, you were accurately trolled. You should have just read this pop-up. The pop-up says it ain't on the list. That's why it ain't showing. So you didn't need me to answer that. The pop-up answered it. So I retract my statement that you were trolled, over-trolled. You were correctly trolled. Oh, I'm running over the time yet? 6 minutes. Somebody in chat says, you suck. Oh, and hide user on this channel. Go get a new IP address, buddy. Richard, you're the greatest of all time. Thank you for your patience in answering all these stupid questions. PulseX to the moon. Thank you, Ray. When Pulse and PulseX launch? A couple months, I hope. But all of my time estimates have always been wrong, and so is everyone else's time estimates on software. That's how it goes. More people asking about taxes and stuff. Look, I never talk about taxes and stuff. So there's a chat room you can go to where people do talk about that stuff. It's called t.me/cryptogov. Go there if you want to talk about that stuff. I never go in there. Some of these questions are just so dumb. Did any friends and family try to get money off you when you first made it big? Not really. Just one guy, an uncle did. Didn't work out for him. How do we get into the Telegram groups? Go to t.me/hexcrypto, t.me/PulseChainCom, t.me/PulseXCom, t.me/SciVive, t.me/HexTrading, t.me/RichardsCalls. A lot of chat rooms. There's actually tons more than that. There's an absolute ton of chat rooms. We got Spanish ones, we got French ones, we got German ones, there's a lot we kill on Telegram. I love Telegram. I think it's great. Good day, Richard. How are you doing today? Doing pretty all right. Let's check the sacrifice number. So far, we've got 64,000 unique wallets. Now, this is interesting because earlier in the stream, we checked this and it was only 61,000. Now it's 64,000 wallets. So 3,000 new unique wallets sacrificed on the Ethereum chain to the PulseX sacrifice. And that's cool. I mean, that's 5% right here during the stream. So, guys, I want you to go to twitter.com/Richard Hartwin. Follow me. Go to instagram.com/Richard Hart Official. Follow me. Like, subscribe, click the bell, click all on Twitter or on youtube.com/Richard Hart. Go to pulsex.com. It's a big deal. There's 840 million sacrificed for freedom of movement and freedom of assembly currently, and they're going to get free coins. Cool. Enjoy your free stuff. What else? What else? Go watch the Hex conference. I'm going to go tweet a link to it right now. And I wish you all mad gains. Can't wait to see what the future